This video discusses the stabbing attack on Salman Rushdie and the deaths of Anshu Jain, former co-CEO of Deutsche Bank, and actresses Anne Heche, Denise, Dowse, and Robyn Griggs. Hello friends, this is Unmasked Truth with Harmanjit Saini, where I provide a unique analysis of world events based on the unmasked truth that after surrender, Germany continued World War II clandestinely and became a killing machine. I also provide true news that you will find nowhere else. Author Salman Rushdie, a Kashmiri Muslim, published his fourth novel, The Satanic Verses, in September 1988. It immediately generated major controversy with Muslims, accusing Rushdie of blasphemy in the novel and mocking their faith and their prophet Muhammad. Reacting to Muslim outrage, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khomeini issued a fatwa on February 14, 1989 for Rushdie to be put to death. Rushdie went into hiding under protection from the UK government and remained in hiding for a decade. Several failed attempts were made on his life. Others connected with the book were murdered, such as translator Hitoshi Igarashi. After about a decade in hiding, Rushdie made some public appearances. In recent years, even though a $3 million bounty has been put on his head, Rushdie has lived more openly and became a US citizen in 2016. However, on August 12, 2022, the 75-year-old Rushdie was stabbed multiple times by 25-year-old Hadi Matar from New Jersey, United States, at an event in Chautauqua, New York, where he was about to deliver a lecture. The assailant was immediately arrested. Rushdie was on a ventilator due to the serious injuries, but has now been taken off the ventilator and is recovering and able to speak. Rushdie and I are kindred spirits in one respect. He has used satire to criticize Islam and the Prophet Muhammad. In my comparison of religions, I too have criticized Islam as a false religion and the Quran as inspired by Satan the devil and Prophet Muhammad being deceived by a demon masquerading as the Archangel Gabriel. I have offered very strong logical proofs in my writings for my beliefs. Reaction from Iran in both cases has been the same. The Ayatollahs of Iran want to appear as the most ardent defenders of Islam. Whenever they find much of the Muslim world offended at what someone has said, written or done, they take the lead in condemning the offender and issue a fatwa for his assassination. They did that in Rushdie's case, and I have heard they have done the same in my case. They also seem to have a penchant for a $3 million figure as the bounty on the head of the offender. I've heard that they have put a $3 million bounty on my head also. I returned the favor as soon as I learned of it. I have put a $6 million bounty on Ayatollah Khamenei's head. Since Ayatollah Khamenei has not publicly apologized and revoked his fatwa against me, my bounty on his head stands and can be claimed by anyone. Now, Iran has denied that it was in any way involved in the assassination attempt on Rushdie's life. But when you put a bounty on somebody's head, someone would be highly tempted to claim it. That may have been Hadi Matar's motive in making an attempt on Rushdie's life. Now, speaking of bounties on my head, the German masqueraders have put a huge bounty on my head, perhaps $1 billion. As a result, I have put a $25 million bounty on the head of the German president, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, as Satan the devil communicates his messages to the German nation through him. That bounty still stands, since the Germans have not publicly apologized to me and revoked their bounty. German masqueraders in the United States have put a similar bounty on my head. As a result, I am putting a $50 million bounty each on the heads of the German masquerader leaders, Charlie M. and Warren B., partners in business and in orchestrating heinous crimes. Because of the bounty on my head, almost every day people hover around me to try and claim that bounty so that I cannot go jogging or walking in public parks. Why should someone put a bounty on my head and force me to be under constant tension and take as many precautions as possible, and then I stay silent and not retaliate? I want Charlie M and Warren B to feel the same tension 24 hours a day for the remainder of their lives because of the $50 million each bounty I put on their heads. Since the publication of the Satanic Verses, Rushdie has apologized to Muslims, but Ayatollah Khamenei did not revoke the fatwa and stated that it still stands. However, I still stand by my writings about Islam and Muhammad being a false prophet, deceived by Satan the devil through one of his demons masquerading as the Archangel Gabriel. I am doing it because I believe my commission to do so is stated in Revelation 10 verse 11. And he said to me, "You must prophesy again about many peoples, nations, languages, and kings." Thus I am required to tell people the truth about their rulers and religions so that they can change their ways and possibly receive God's help to come out alive through the global catastrophes that are about to engulf the entire world. Criticism of Islam is where the commonality between Rushdie and me ends. My purpose in this video is to expose Rushdie for his terrible misdeed, which is murdering a white adult of non-German ancestry to obtain masquerader help in succeeding in his literary career. He deserves death for that crime. One of the rewards offered by masqueraders for murdering a white adult and a child is a white wife. Rushdie received that reward in abundance throughout his life, which means that he may have murdered more than one white person. He may have escaped the assassination attempt by Hadi Matar on August 12, 2022, but not for long. He will have to pay for his crime with his life. That day of reckoning is not far off, and we will finish the job. Now, Anshuman, also known as Anshu Jain, president of the American financial services firm Cantor Fitzgerald since 2017 and former global co-CEO and co-chairman of the German bank Deutsche Bank from 2012 to 2015, died reportedly of duodenal cancer on August 12, 2022 at the age of 59. He was initially diagnosed with cancer in January 2017. Jain was born in Jaipur, India, and received his bachelor's in economics from the Sri Ram College of Commerce in Delhi, and then his MBA from University of Massachusetts at Amherst. He then worked on Wall Street at Kidder, Peabody and Company, and then Merrill Lynch, where he was mentored by the late Edson Mitchell. When Deutsche Bank hired Mitchell away from Merrill Lynch, Jain followed him to Deutsche Bank in 1995. Jain is credited with having helped build Deutsche Bank into a global investment bank rivaling Wall Street giants such as Goldman Sachs. He rose to become co-CEO of the bank but had to resign amid scandals. Then he became president of the mid-sized investment banking and financial services firm Cantor Fitzgerald. Do you think the Germans would offer such an extremely important position to an Indian unless he had first met the hurdle qualification of murdering a white American or British adult and or child of non-German ancestry, or a Sikh? Certainly not. You can be absolutely certain that Anshu Jain met that hurdle qualification and then some. He did not die of stomach cancer entirely. He was put to death for the heinous crime he committed of murdering a white adult and a child and or a Sikh. Anshu Jain also has a cousin named Ajit Jain, who has been vice chairman of insurance operations for Berkshire Hathaway since 2018. Can you imagine Warren Buffett hiring an Indian in a top position without having met the German masquerader hurdle qualification? No matter how brilliant? Absolutely not. Murder thus runs in the family. Anshu Jain has paid for his heinous crime with his life. Day of reckoning for Ajit Jain is not far off. There are hundreds of thousands of Indians in the United States, Britain, and Canada who were rewarded with immigration for having met the German hurdle qualification while in India. Many of them have risen to top corporate and business positions in our countries. Death of Anshu Jain is a sign that their day of reckoning is not far off. Since they have chosen to join the Germans and German masqueraders, their goal is to exterminate white Americans, Britons, and Canadians of non German ancestry and their allies, such as some of the Sikhs, uh, man, woman, and child. As a result, our goal has also become exactly the same. Deadly civil wars are brewing in the United States, British Commonwealth nations, and Israel. Our goal will also be to exterminate the German masqueraders in our midst and all their allies, Indian, Chinese, Italians, Hispanics, Africans, and African Americans, and all others, man, woman, and child. Now, American actress Anne Heche, 53, was taken off life support on Sunday, August 14, 2022, 9 days after she suffered severe injuries in a car crash. She had been legally dead since Friday, August 12, though she still had a heartbeat. Her wish was to donate her organs. Therefore, she had been kept on life support to preserve her organs till suitable recipients could be identified. Now, H's Mini Cooper had sped out of control and plowed into a house where it burst into flames and destroyed the home and the property within. Police said that a preliminary blood analysis indicated that H had narcotics in her system when the crash occurred. H has had a troubled upbringing and was later in a same-sex relationship with the famous comedian and actress Ellen DeGeneres, but she had a very successful acting career. H's movie credits include Donnie Brasco, Wag the Dog, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, among others. She won a Daytime Emmy Award for her role as twin sisters in the NBC soap Another World. She also starred with Harrison Ford in the comedy 6 Days, 7 Nights and in the HBO TV movie If These Walls Could Talk with Demi Moore and Cher. This should be obvious. One did not achieve success in the entertainment business in those days without masquerader sport for which Anne Heche committed murder of a white adult and a child. She was simply allowed to die for that crime after her car crash. American actress and director Denise Dowse, whose acting career included roles in Beverly Hills 90210 as Mrs. Yvonne Teasley and as Molly Carter's therapist in the HBO comedy series Insecure, reportedly died on August 13, 2022 at age 64 after falling into a coma due to meningitis. In her career spanning decades, Dowse appeared in several TV series including Girlfriends, The West Wing, Charmed, and others. Law and Order. She also directed the film Remember Me, the Mahalia Jackson story. Such success in those times came with a price. The price was to commit murder of a white adult and a child of non-German ancestry. Dowse committed that crime and was brought to justice for that crime. She did not die of meningitis but was put to death. American actress Robyn Griggs, who played Stephanie Hobart on the soap opera One Life to Live, from 1991 to 1992, and then 2 years later in another world, reportedly died on August 13, 2022 at age 49. She was diagnosed with cervical cancer in 2020. Griggs also had roles which included film roles which included Zombie Geddon, Minds of Terror, Severe Injuries, and The Absence of Light, Craig, and Hell Week. Again, success in the entertainment industry in those days did not come without masquerade as sport, which meant meeting the hurdle qualification. Griggs met that hurdle qualification, for which she was put to death. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please continue to watch my videos and read my articles on important world events, World War III watch, politics, international business, advice on health and medical problems, and much more for in-depth and insightful analysis. Please also subscribe to my YouTube and Facebook channels, Unmasked Truth with Harmanjit Saini, to view and get information on the latest videos. Some people do not have the time to go through the full length of videos. They find it more convenient to read the text of the video. Unfortunately, YouTube does not provide the capability to make the text of my videos available on YouTube. But fortunately, Facebook does provide that capability. So I make the text of my videos available on my Facebook channel, which you can easily copy.